Hello there, rebels. Pinch punch, first of the month, 1st of November, and all that. Welcome back to my ABC of menopause. So, looking at the physical as well as the psychological and the emotional symptoms of our perimenopause and menopause. And today I wanted to jump on, and today I'm talking about creepy crawlies and also talking about Carolyn Harris as well. So a bit of a combination. So let me explain. So those creepy crawlies, you feel them on your head. I certainly did. Crawling down your back. I felt them around my ankles. And you know what? You try and brush them off, but they're invisible, but they just seem to keep coming back. And you're desperate not to kind of aggravate and to scratch and to kind of itch, but they just keep coming back and it feels horrible. And you know what? When I was experiencing this, and I still do, but it's getting slightly better, is it always sort of reminded me of I'm a Celebrity, like the Bush Tucker trials, when you've got those kind of creepy crawlies absolutely kind of everywhere and you can't get rid of them. And actually, it's not going to be in Oz, is it? It's going to be in Wales again, in the castle this year. But where are they and why are they invisible? And it always got me thinking, oh, my dog, my pet pooch must have fleas. Or maybe for you, if you've still got younger children, you kind of feel like it's time to get the knit comb out and for the knit fairy to pay a visit. But actually, there's nothing there. And who knew? And I don't know if you've experienced the creepy crawly syndrome or whether it's actually one of the more unusual symptoms of our perimenopause and menopause, but it's something certainly I experience. And who knew that it actually has got a name, and I want to pronounce it correctly, sort of pruritus. And it often occurs in the sort of first stages, the first years of perimenopause, and may continue shortly after menopause as well. I guess that's the camp that I'm in. It's bang on in my case, and hopefully it's now on its way out for good. And you know what we can blame it on are BFF, if you like, estrogen. Because estrogen is responsible for collagen production, which is an essential building block of our healthy skin. So, and researchers believe too that it also plays kind of a key role in making the natural oils that keep our skin moisturized. So if you're beginning to experience sort of drier skin now, that's what's going on. So it does make sense as our estrogen levels fall again that our skin can become thin, dry and very itchy, as I experience. And it can feel that it's occurring on the neck, the chest, the back, and it can affect all sides of the body. And it was actually around my waist and my ankles too. So it's like that feeling you're trying to swat a mosquito. I'm even sort of itchy in my chair now, but there's absolutely nothing there. So a couple of tips from me, having experienced it. So first of all, chase up your GP. Because there are the other causes of itchy skin apart from it being a symptom of perimenopause and menopause. So make sure there's no underlying issue there, or maybe a separate skin condition entirely. And what you can actually do is a great thing to add again to your checklist of peri and menopausal symptoms that you can go along to your GP with and say, here are the symptoms that I'm experiencing, work with me, what can we do? What can we do about this? So, and it may preempt a conversation about HRT. The second one that I talk about is check out what's in your bedroom cabinet. Now, don't do what I did, which was thought I've got to get rid of everything in my cabinet and replace it with the good stuff or the better stuff. Do it slowly. So firstly, a good quality body moisturizer, and something that's specific for sensitive skin. And preferably it contain omega-3 as well, really to lock in the oil and moisturise your skin. So I would recommend Dr. Organic. That's something that I use and I like it because there's no hidden nasties, so there's no parabens, alcohol, etc. And with that, check out your shower gel too. So maybe buy a milder or a soap-free version or a sort of emollient so that you're not stripping your skin of all its goodness. Likewise, I choose Dr. Organic, again with no hidden nasties. And I would also recommend Green People too, if you're thinking sort of revisiting and looking at your makeup or your face moisturiser. So I said you can consider a sort of a soap substitute like an emollient. So there are good brands on the market such as Cetraban, CeraVe, so good cleansers but without the nasties and kind on your skin. And I know that they don't produce a larva. The one I use on my legs doesn't, but it's kind to the skin too, and there's no fragrances. And also think about sunscreen as well, just making sure that you're using a cream with SPF protection on your face every day, no matter what the weather is. You can see I'm struggling with the sunshine today that's streaming through the window, but then it can kind of hold that into the skin. It acts as a natural barrier and kind of dissolves and can help resolve that sort of dry skin too, and prevent the wear and tear from the sun. And then also another thing to suggest is relaxing in an oatmeal bath. Now you might be thinking the last thing I want to do, Nick, is to actually bathe in a bowl of porridge. But you know what? I've never done it for the itchy skin, but I certainly did it a number of years ago when I had the pox. Yes, I had the chicken pox at 44, and it really did help to ease the itch. And eating your greens, and don't forget the oranges too. So as we get older, we produce less collagen, which keeps that sort of skin elastic and hydrated. So eat your greens, and vitamin C plays a pivotal role as well in the creation of collagen. So boost your intake, or maybe even consider a supplement as well. So all types of fruit and veg that you can find vitamin C in. As I said, you can take it as an oral supplement as well. Just leaning back so you can still see me. And the final one is think cotton. That's daytime and evening, kind of when you go to bed. It keeps yourself cool. Think of bamboo. There's lots of things now, nightwear that's made with bamboo as well, that keeps us kind of cool to help our skin. And if you need to, you can wear gloves as well in bed just to stop that itching. So, moving seamlessly on to the C for Caroline Harris. So you might have seen a lot in the news over the last week, and particularly on Friday, where there are changes afoot in looking to pass a menopause bill. So Caroline Harris, who's an MP for Labour, Swansea East, was there in Parliament on Friday pushing a law to make menopause treatment free in England. It was a great success in terms of the government wouldn't go that far, but said that women would only have to pay for a prescription once a year. So if you are on HRT, as I am, and you have been experiencing paying for a prescription every time you get a repeat prescription, now it's going to save us a huge amount of money by just having to pay that one prescription. Probably save us up to about £200 annually, and even more if you're getting two prescriptions, as in you're taking estrogen and progesterone as well. So lots of savings coming our way. Definitely a step in the right direction, and you may have seen in the press, and I'll put a link to the article in the comments, where Davina was out there, Penny Lancaster, Marilla Fostrop as well. They were all out there as the menopause warriors to support, to really get menopause, perimenopause on the government's radar. And just on that, a great podcast to listen to that was done a couple of weeks ago, just ahead of the activity in Parliament on Friday, was a great podcast that I listened to called Postcards from Midlife. And there too, Caroline was being interviewed alongside a health specialist, Dr. Shazia Harper, and the co-founder of and SEO of Cult Beauty, Alexia Inge, again on Postcards from Midlife, so you can download it, from Google or Apple, whatever you want to. So that's it for me today. Just what I wanted to follow on with is just to remind ourselves that therapy is about taking time out for ourselves. If you like, today was a sort of belated Halloween, talking about the creepy crawlies, but it does give us time to really untangle our spider web of thoughts, feelings and behaviours. When we where we get caught up in that sort of web of everyday life with family, with friends, with children, with our careers, with our jobs, and so the list goes on. So during this time in our midlife, what we are experiencing and how we're feeling can really become a bit of a taboo subject. And we're putting ourselves last quite often, behind everybody else, and we don't put our hand up for support. And to honour yourself and give you some time for some therapy, you can really do that, to put yourself first, to be in a position to support others around you. So without further ado, I've popped not only the article from Friday's activities, but also linked to the NHS Inform website, which is relatively new, and there's a link to there in terms of the power therapy and how it can help us during our midlife and during our perimenopause and menopause. So thank you for listening, and I will be back on Friday with the letter D, and I'm sure Davina's going to appear in there somewhere. Bye for now.